Pokemon announced Pokemon Champions, a new game for Switch and mobile. So yesterday was Pokemon Day, so it was one of those things. I had seen the little event that they did for it and kind of some of the stuff that they had announced. I was able to watch a stream on it, and it was one of those things. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I didn't watch the whole thing. I kind of stepped in a little bit later, like 10 minutes in or so. And from what I'd seen, it was pretty good for the most part. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, I've made it, known before in my other videos that I've done. As far as Pokemon goes, I'm more of a Gen 1, Gen 2, and then partially Gen 3 kind of person. I know that there's like I think 8 gens now. So a lot of the later generations I pretty much missed out on. So there is a lot of Pokemon out there that I, just haven't really known or really seen before. It is one of those things too, because when the new Pokemon Snap came out, I'm actually replaying that right now. And it was one of those situations when that game was announced and it was released. I did purchase it and I was playing it for a while, and there was a lot of Pokemon that I had just never seen. Some of them I do like, I like the direction they went in, some of them not so much. But as far as this game goes here, I thought it was actually pretty cool, and I really appreciated the trailer for it. So I figured it was something we can go ahead and check out, and then I can give my thoughts on once we're done with the article here. So Pokemon has announced Pokemon Champions, a new title developed for mobile and Nintendo Switch. The announcement was made during Pokemon Presents showcase, where it was said that the title will be focused on Pokemon battles that you know and love from core Pokemon games. And that is one of the cool things, is the fact that they're going in the battle direction. So there is some other stuff I wanted to say right here. I'll make it clear in a second. I just want to finish this article and then I'll give my thoughts. So, Pokemon Champions will be a multiplayer game where players can matchmake with others around the world. Game Freak is said to be carrying out the planning for the project, while development will be handled by Pokemon Works. Players will also be able to connect with Pokemon Home, meaning you'll be able to use Pokemon from previous Pokemon games in Pokemon Champions. No release date was announced for Pokemon Champions, but based on the announcement, it seems like it could be a ways away from release. What do you think of Pokemon Champions? Let us know down below over all the official Insider Gaming forums. And it is one of those things where I think it is pretty cool that they're going in the battle direction, because of the fact that that is obviously the staple of Pokemon, being able to capture these Pokemon and then have them battle. But the fact that they're going in the direction where they're going to be having it so that you can use like Pokemon from previous games, I love that, man. That brings me back to my Pokemon Stadium days, where you could actually play games like yellow, green. I mean, I'm sorry, yellow, blue, red, and then on silver and gold, and then be able to actually use those same Pokemon that you catch in Pokemon Stadium. Pokemon Stadium is one of those games I love so much. I never actually beat the whole game. It is one of those things where I did beat like the Elite Four that you can do. I did all the mini game kind of stuff, but when you do the actual battles and all that type of stuff, I remember it got really hard, where you have to go into like the different types of Pokemon tournaments and stuff, and I could just never beat it, because from what it seemed like you had to actually have the Game Boy games and be able to get certain types of Pokemon to be able to win those. I haven't done it in years. I haven't played that game in so long, so that is one of those games I probably should go back to and try to see if I can actually complete it, because like I've said in one of my other videos recently, I've been on a little bit of a kick recently, where I'm trying to go back and play a lot of these games that I never actually completed, where I would just either play like a couple hours into it, or I just kind of played it for once or twice and then just kind of never went back. So I am trying to go back and kind of play a lot of these games and see if I can actually beat them. So Pokemon Stadium, I feel like, is kind of making its way into that round. So I thought that was pretty cool. So as far as the video we got here, I'm gonna go ahead and check out the trailer, and then we'll see what we got. And then this part specifically right here had me pretty hyped when I seen the trailer, because like I said, Pokemon Stadium was my era kind of a thing. I know this is Pokemon Stadium 2, and ironically enough, Pokemon Stadium 2 was a game I actually got like a few years back for the first time. I had played it when I was younger, but for me, I had gotten Pokemon Stadium. I think when I was like, it was like a Christmas gift when I was really young, and that was always the one that I would play. So being able to go back and play Pokemon Stadium 2 was pretty cool, but it didn't quite have that same nostalgic feeling I had when I played the first Pokemon Stadium. But seeing this portion right here, I thought it was so cool seeing the 64 Pokemon Stadium 2, and then obviously the controllers, but mainly the fact that this was the controller that I used back in the day, the same kind of blue clear one that they had. That was always the one that I would play with. So seeing that, I was like, oh yeah, that has me hyped. And you got the Game Boy Advance games, obviously. The Wii games, I never got into the Wii games, so this is pretty much kind of when I got out, and then the 3DS games wasn't really my era kind of a thing. I mean, it was my era, but it wasn't really where I was still into Pokemon at that time. And I'm wondering if that's gonna be like the actual gameplay. So not actual gameplay footage, what it says at the bottom, but like if it's gonna be more akin to looking like this as opposed to looking like something on the Switch. I feel like on the mobile, it more than likely will kind of have these graphics. These aren't necessarily the best graphics for Pokemon battles, but when it does come out on the Switch, I'm wondering if it is gonna have like a lot more of a cleaner look, or if it is gonna kind of look somewhat similar to the mobile version they're gonna have. I hope not. And then I feel like that's one of the crazy things too, because if you notice the chick, she was playing on her phone, and then this dude right here is playing on the Switch. So I think that's actually going to be pretty cool, is the fact that you are going to be able to actually play with other players. Let's say like if you're on the mobile and then someone else is playing on Switch, you guys can still be playing together, which is in my opinion, I think that's actually pretty cool, and I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how that's gonna kind of shape the gaming industry a little bit more in the future. If we're gonna get more stuff like that, where it'll actually be able to be to work out pretty well as far as like memory and stuff like that. So if you're playing on like a mobile game, you won't have as many issues, versus someone that's on the Switch. So if they are able to go in that direction, I think that'll be pretty cool. Pokemon Champions, now in development, Nintendo Switch, iOS, and Android. So yeah, man, it is one of those things. Like I am really looking forward to this. I'm hoping it is kind of gonna be in that same vein as Pokemon Stadium, where you're gonna be up against people, because I think that'll be really cool. And I feel like, especially with Pokemon, it one of the things I'll never forget is I remember I went to a buddy's house one time and he was watching I believe it was Street Fighter. It was like a Street Fighter tournament going on. And I think it was like on, I don't know if it was Spike TV, but like one of those types of channels, those older channels from back in the day. And I remember at first when I went over to his house, I'm thinking to myself, like, are you really just watching like a Street Fighter tournament, you know? But next thing you know, I'm sitting there watching it with him and I got hooked, man. Like I got really into it. They had like announcers and everything. There was a crowd there. And I'm genuinely thinking like, damn, like this has got me. You know what I mean? This is almost like a sporting event, even though it was just some dudes playing, you know what I mean, Street Fighter video games. So I feel like with Pokemon, they have that potential. I feel like to be able to really work into that, being able to have something where people can get kind of stuck on it and really be amazed at what they're able to see going on as far as people battling each other. It seems like they're kind of doing that with the trailer release that they did for Pokemon. I think it was Legends A through Z, or Z through A, and I might do a video. I'm probably gonna do a video on that a little bit later today if I can, just to kind of go over some of the information on that. But yeah, if I feel like if Pokemon and Nintendo and Game Freak, if they're able to actually do this right, it could have potential for a lot of people to be fans of it and to really get into it. For not only older fans, but to kind of bring some new people in that might not have been so much into Pokemon and stuff like that. So who knows? Hopefully they'll be able to do something good. You know what I mean? Which would be pretty cool. So yeah. So those are my thoughts on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Are there a lot of Pokemon fans out there that are looking forward to this? Do you guys think it's going to be something more in line with like Pokemon Stadium, or do you think it's going to be kind of like its own little version of it, kind of a thing? So if you guys can let me know your thoughts in the comments, if you guys could like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you guys have been watching this long, I really appreciate it. It means a lot. And yeah, until next time, Harmonic out. Peace.